teach you how to make a basic rose with sugar paste. Sugar paste. Basically, the particular one we're going to use is called flour paste. Now you can see that this basic rose, the yellow one, is quite different from the technique used on the white one. Now to get started, what we need is you need a wire cutter, it's like a plier. You have different types of sizes. You would need a candle rolling pin, a small size, your brush, you need sugar glue, you need your cutters, very important, these sizes, and you need your calyx cutter too. Most importantly, you need your paste, your flour paste. I've colored this in yellow and in green. The technique I'm going to be teaching you uses these basic spoons, and I'm going to show you how to use them, and I'm going to show you how when you don't need to use them too. So let's get started. Well, always make sure that when you're not using your paste, you get it covered, and I'll show you how I do that when we continue in the class. So this is your paste. I'm going to take just a bit because the first step is to form your cone. The remaining one, I'm going to use this to just cover it to any other handy pan or whatever you have in the house to work with. Now, looking at this, you can see that it's quite rounded at the bottom. Though I would advise that your wire is longer. Now this wire is called a florist wire. Let me show you. A florist wire. It has a long length, but I've cut this to size. Now it comes in different gauges. This is gauge 16. You can use 16 or 18. Why? This is the particular wire that is good enough to handle the weight of the basic sugar rose. So we start with the cone. Now you need icing sugar for dusting. If you have corn flour, even better. So to dust your surface, and also if your hands get sticky. So I'm just going to take the amount that I feel will be okay. I'm going to replicate that cone. Now start by trying to make your paste a ball. You see that? And then gently now, with the tip of your hands, your fingers, begin to do this. Are you seeing that I'm forming something like a sharp pointed tip? So I do this gently, and also at the same time trying not to put any markings or pressure on it. When I've done that, I go ahead to get my florist wire. But you see, there's one important thing we do. We don't leave the top edge of the florist wire straight up like this. So we curve it. You see, you just hold the tip and then bend it to touch. You want something like this. The reason is we don't want the cone falling down through it. So now, this sugar glue is actually water and CMC. I'll give you more details. Now you just brush lightly on it, and then making sure that you are putting it at the center, gently nudge it, still trying to maintain the shape, and try not to push it towards the end. the top end too much. Just make sure it goes beyond half. Then you gently pinch the bottom. Please, this is very important. Why do we do this? Because we want a firm hold of this cone. Now the cone is like a major thing you have to do before you can get your flowers going. It has to set hard, so it's a major foundation for the success of your sugar flower. So you can see the pinched end, right? Now you do this and let it set. As you let it set, if you do not have a hot cupboard, you leave it several hours, or you do it your cones a day before you start working. So I've taken the liberty to do this ahead of time. So we get started. I want to tell you about the petal formation for the rose. The rose has a specific way that the petal formation of a basic rose has, after the cone, you wrap with one petal first, then you do 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. The only even number in this formation is 2, so you need to be sure of this that I'm saying now. You need to get it clearly. So now, how do you roll your paste? You want to make sure that you roll it thinly. That's why you have to dust your work surface and get it as thin as possible, as though it is almost transparent. When you feel like you can really see through it, that is when you know it's good to go, and this is alright right now. So I'm going ahead to cut the first wrap round, and I'm going to cut the second wrap round too, so that we can do this as fast but as impactful as possible. So now please watch keenly how I'm going to wrap the first one. Now you don't want to put too much of your sugar glue on it. It tends to soak. Now you use a smaller cutter first. It tends to soak. So you see, now we're going to wrap around with this one. The first thing you want to do is to make sure the edge attaches very well. And please watch this. I'm intentionally closing this in, but not entirely. You see the hole at the tip there. So it has to be there, nice and all that. Now you can see some excesses there. Just gently nudge it and blend it in. So we do that, and then naturally we should let it stay before we go to the second petal. So we have these 2 petals. We've done the wrap round. You can see how nice and thin this is. So you put the first one this way. You can just brush a little of it around your cone. Endeavor to make it higher than the cone tip. Now you've noticed that I just put it halfway. I'm going to put the other one this way, higher too, and then wrap round. Like you're doing alternates. Now that I've gotten there, I want to wrap this one to join this. Don't put too much of this, it can get soggy. So what I did there, I'm going to repeat on this other side. Now if you feel your hand getting soft and getting very like as though it's wet. It's dust on your icing sugar or corn flour. So you have something like this. You can decide to cover it, or you can decide to leave it closed. Cover it nicely, or you can leave it just without covering it. It depends. There are different techniques, like I said before, but make sure that this is visible and can be seen, the whole curled stuff. So see that. So we don't just leave the other parts like this. We make sure that we blend it in. So it's advisable that your cone would have been set before doing this so that this can work perfectly for you. Blend this in, then allow to set. And now want to go to the second phase of it. We've done the first wrap round, we've done the